So this video is going to be a bit different from what I usually make on this channel as of now. This video is more of a video for me than it is for really anyone else. I don't really feel like I owe anyone anything. This is more of just an explanation of what's been going on in my life, plus just letting everything out. By everything, I don't mean like, like my whole life story, but stuff that happened within the past year. As far as you guys know, or at least some of you very dedicated followers, I guess, and closest friends, I used to be friends with some people. I cut myself off from these people, and now I was heartbroken. Now I'm here. That's kind of what most of you suspect, and that's completely okay. I won't mention any names or the group chat name or anything like that. Like, if you knew me on Asteroid Hell, you'd probably figure that out for yourself. And if you do, please don't comment it or call anyone out or mention names of any sorts, of any kind. Please don't. If you just know, just be like, okay, gotcha. And if you have any concerns, just DM me on Tumblr or Twitter. I'll put those down below. So yeah, back to this video. The truth. It's hard. It's hard to admit you were wrong. I'm not saying that everything was my fault, of course, and I'm not saying that everything was their fault, but it was both sides' fault. I am going to admit I was very, very shitty to these groups of people, just as they were to me. Groups, not really groups, I meant group of people. It all started when I met this one girl and video editor in the community. She was very kind to me. We really hit it off really well. We talked and we became close, and we included another girl. I DM'd this other girl who is kind of friends with this girl. We'll just call girl 1 is the first girl I met, and girl 2 is the other girl that I met. So girl 2, we became really close as well. I knew there was something about girl number 2 that really fascinated me. Something was really special. It was beyond platonic friendship. We really tried to stay as a trio. We were a trio. We were in a group chat and we just loved each other. Ride or dies and just the whole 9 yards. We were the best friends that you guys want to be. And then one day, girl number 1, we just lost connection with her. And girl number 1 just sort of disappeared out of the picture. I don't know whether it was I didn't make enough effort to talk to girl number 1 or she just kind of cut herself off. I don't know. I really don't know. I really do regret not reaching out a lot more, especially as I got closer and closer to girl number 2. I will take blame for not doing enough to really reconnect with girl number 1. But at the same time, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. Girl number 3, very special girl. Very, very, very special to me. Used to be. Still is, but now in a faint memory. Girl number 3 I met a little bit later after what happened with girl number 1 disappearing, and I'm still very close to girl number 2. Like, we considered each other best friends at this point. Girl number 3, we just started talking. I heard of girl number 3. She was kind of going around Instagram. I decided to reach out to her. Girl number 3 seemed very, very kind and nice, and I liked how she posted on her Instagram. It was very her. There was something about her that attracted me to her. We hit it off. I DM'd her mostly for advice for something that went down with one of my in real life friends at school. She gave me this really great advice, girl number 3, and we started talking every day about anything that you could possibly talk about. We talked about our days, about classes, and deep things, and just everything under the moon. Girl number 4 comes in. We were kind of mutuals. She was different, very different from girl number 2 and girl number 3. She was younger than me. Not really mean-spirited, but more a very straightforward type of girl. I had this sort of crush on girl number 2, but girl number 2 told me that she wasn't looking for a relationship, and I was just like, oh. And I was heartbroken. So, what does every teenage girl do when they get their heart broken? They try to make the other person jealous by going with another person. Girl number 4 was that person that I did kind of have a crush on. We were dating for a while, around a month. During that month, I was on my trip to Europe. When I was on the flight, I was in a group chat with girl number 2, girl number 3, and girl number 4. They were basically like my family at this point. They were everything to me. And at that moment, when I was on the plane flying to Paris, I felt the happiest that I've ever been. Ever. I felt at home. I felt loved. I felt completed. I felt appreciated. And it was the best feeling in the world. But of course, that didn't last. good things never last. During my trip, I was in Paris, and suddenly I get thrown into this group chat. This time it was with 4 other people that I kind of knew, but at the same time I didn't really know, and I was really uncomfortable. And the first few days with this group chat was horrible. It was like being in a crowded room of people you didn't know, and everybody was talking over you, and you tried to like say something funny, but then it's immediately drowned out. That's what it felt like. Honest to God, I hated the first few days of when that group chat was born. I'll call the girl who made the group chat girl number 5. The people who were in it were me, girls 1 through 4. Girl number 1 was there. I haven't talked to girl number 1 in weeks, and girl number 1, she improved her editing skills quite a bit. Girl number 5, I didn't know. At that point, I knew that girl number 5 was a friend of girl number 3, and the reason why girl number 5 made the group chat was because she wanted to be friends with all of the people in the group chat, and I was just like, I'm antisocial, I'm very closed off, I'm really not looking for friends right now, I'm perfectly happy where I am. Girl number 4, who was my girlfriend at the time, she was very active in the group chat, always making memes and stuff, and things that I just didn't find funny. Her sense of humor was something that I felt uncomfortable with, and this kind of was like a splash of cold water on me, just like, oh my goodness. She wasn't who I thought she was, but I don't know. A lot of emotions were flooding through me when this group chat was first resurrecting, because 1, I didn't have any Wi-Fi, and I was frustrated because I was in Paris. I didn't have any Wi-Fi. I was frustrated because I really, really wanted to feel included, but I was always missing something because of the Wi-Fi, and because of time zones, I felt like I couldn't really connect with everybody, because when I could finally get to my phone, everybody was asleep. It was really, really frustrating. It was frustrating and horrible. Girl number 3 was the vessel for me. She was really the person who bore all of my problems. I was on the Eiffel Tower when I just kind of just spilled everything to girl number 3. I was just like, oh my God, girl number 3, I can't do this. I feel this way, and I feel so trapped, and I feel so unheard, and feel lost, and like I just poured out my heart to her. I was almost crying on the Eiffel Tower. Like, it was horrible. It was horrible. I was dealing with heights and my parents wanting to, how do I make you take pictures? And, you know, just like all that at the same time, and it was just like, God, stop. When I reached the top of the Eiffel Tower, though, I told girl number 3, the view is beautiful from here. It's like I can see above through the noise of the city and out past Paris and into the rest of the world. I told her it was this giant metaphor for how if I just look a little deeper, if I just look a little bit more up and allow myself to see past the noise and past the city, I would be able to do this. I would be able to really connect with these group of people that I just had no idea. Like, half of them I wasn't really open to being friends with, and one of them I was kind of uncomfortable with because I haven't talked to them in a few weeks. I don't know how they feel about me. When I got home back from Paris, I finally was on a sort of good terms with the group chat. Like, I felt a little bit better because I was able to talk to them more, and we Skyped and we did Cards Against Humanity and all that, and I really enjoyed my time with them. Girl number 2, on the other hand, she was sad, and a part of me knew why, but a part of me wanted to ignore it, and damn that part of me that wanted to ignore it. On my birthday, I was still dating girl number 4 at the time. I'm not particularly proud of this moment, to be honest. I was talking to girl number 2, the girl that I still had kind of feelings for, but I knew she's off limit. She doesn't want a relationship. Girl number 2, we had this conversation, and it just started escalating emotionally. It felt wild and out of control. Emotionally, we were kept on saying, I love you, and then eventually, I said, I love you more than I should. I am in love with you. I love you more than a friend, and I can't bear to just keep that from you. And girl number 2 told me that she felt the same way, and how she felt when I started dating girl number 4, how she was in tears, and you know, it was horrible. And I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? what have I done to this girl? I didn't really know the full effect of what I've done until everything just played out and I'm here. I decided to break up with girl number 4, and I decided to stop my conversation with girl number 2. I was like, I want to stop this conversation before I do anything I'm gonna regret. Stopped my conversation with girl number 2 and made sure to break it off with girl number 4. And then I decided to wait a week before girl number 2 and I probably started dating. This was the girl for me at that time. The group chat and I started to become really, really good. We had so many Skype nights and Cards Against Humanity, and we were just joking and laughing, and I really bonded with especially girl number 5. Girl number 1 though, she was, no, I don't want to say problematic, but she was difficult for me to get along to. I don't know if it was because she was angry that girl number 2 and I left her in the dark, but as far as I know now, she's cool with girl number 2 right now, so I don't know if it was just me just messing up everything. But girl number 1, I started to become very jealous of her edits because she started to become really big, and I started to get very insecure, and I really voiced this to her, and I tried to fix it. I really tried to fix it. I tried to not be jealous, but I just couldn't help it. I couldn't fix it. That's what I thought to myself. I can't fix this. I can't do this. I can't just not be jealous. And I just feel bad at my edits are bad. Like, I kept on like just convincing myself my edits are really bad compared to girl number 1's, and it broke my heart because I don't know, I'm so used to being number 1, I guess, you know, in violin in school, and just I'm the trophy child. I guess I'm just not used to someone being better than me, or wasn't used to. This continued on for a long while, this jealousy, because girl number 1's edits kept getting better, and I was on a really tense relationship with girl number 1 because as I started getting into the school year, we started having fights. But before we get into that, there was like a sort of dual side between me becoming a lot meaner than I wanted to be because the group chat that I was in was very toxic for me. It was toxic for me because they started making fun of people that I'm friends with now. They were just kept talking trash, and they made fan account, like really like crack fan accounts for like certain people that I thought was like, what did they ever do wrong? I don't think they deserve to be trash talked about. It was horrible. Like, I felt bad, and the worst thing that I ever did was I didn't say anything. I was too scared to. I didn't want to mess up what I had with them. I wanted to continue to be accepted, and I didn't want to be laughed at. I spent so much time trying to connect with these people that I just sort of just was thrown into this group chat with. If I say something now, I'll ruin it for me and for myself. But then eventually I finally slapped the shit out of myself and said, okay, this is going too far. One of the girls in the group chat was really starting to get annoyed with this particular girl that they were trash talking to. And I'll admit, sometimes this one girl was, I guess I felt bad, but at the same time, you know, like I wasn't really open to having friends right now at that time. And I tried to be as nice as possible and still, you know, be accepting. It's like, oh, if you ever need anything, I'm always here, but I'm not open to really being friends with anyone right now, anyone new right now. That's what I told the girl that was being made fun of by my group chat friends. And this other girl, I'm just gonna call her girl number 12, I guess. Girl number 12, one of the girls in the group chat who was really causing trouble to girl number 12, they both came to me like separately, and I tried to really fix things. I really tried to talk to the girl in the group chat and say, yo, what you're doing is out of line. You don't have to be friends with girl number 12, but you can at least be civil to her and politely just say that you're not open to being friends right now. And I can try to talk to girl number 12 and just chill out. I actually was proud of myself for finally sticking up for girl number 12 and, you know, also trying to help the other girl in the group chat. And finally they kind of went into this sort of resolution-ish thing. They're not really friends, but they're kind of just not at each other's throats now, so that's good, I guess. I was also balancing out school problems because I started to become very slacking in school. I didn't really want to do anything. I just wanted to stay with my group chat and just be blissful with them forever, and I just wanted life to stop, and I just wanted to be with them and just have fun. My parents started getting on me about grades and everything, and it was almost like every night they would come into my room, my parents, and just yell at me and just say, where is the Hannah that I knew? The Hannah that I knew would not do this. She would not slack off on her homework. And they just yelling, so much yelling, particularly while I was Skyping with some of the group chat. My parents would come in and yell, and I was frozen whenever they would yell at me. I had to put one of my friends through that. I just couldn't end the call. I would just end up sobbing afterwards, and they would be like, are you okay? Do you want to like, and I was just like, no, it's fine, I'm just being stupid. I wrote in my journal a lot of time, and this was really a down moment for me. At the same time, it wasn't up. Life is weird that way. I talked about wanting to die one time. I think that was just in a fit of emotion, but I went through my journal before filming this, and I was just like, I was so depressed. I was I was having emotional problems. Like, I needed help. And I voiced this to my parents. Like, everyone, all of my friends advised me to go to a therapist, but I went to my parents and they were just like, no, Hannah, don't go to a therapist. It's not good for you. It's not going to look good for your college. And I'm just like, but Mom, Dad, I need to see a therapist. I have all of these emotional problems, and I don't think my friends can handle it anymore because I'm shutting them out. I don't know who to go to anymore for any of this. I feel like I can't talk to anyone. It was a lot of this back and forth, and one time I went to see a priest, but it kind of helped, but it didn't help at the same time. I felt like I needed to see someone regularly. Unfortunately, my parents agreed too late. I already did too much damage when they finally said, okay, we can let you go to therapy. We're getting to the hard part. So school started, and there was this new girl. We'll call her girl number 8. Girl number 8, she was an internet kid who went to my school, and we just immediately hit it off, and I sort of just made the mistake and was too open with her. I told her about my fan account and like introduced her to my friends, and then she became kind of friends with girl number 5, and then girl number 3 and girl number 2, but that's later on. It was like she knew both sides of my life, girl number 8, and it was good. There was a point where I had a falling out with girl number 2. We were still dating. It was reaching to a point of the relationship where it was becoming very, very tense. We were starting to argue a lot, and she would get angry at me, and I would guilt trip her and emotionally manipulate her to feel bad for me, but of course it didn't work. This is something I'm really shameful of, okay? I was at a point where I feel like I emotionally manipulated my friends to feel guilty for me because I felt like I wasn't getting enough love and attention from them. I just bore all of my problems to a few of them, and then to others I shut out. I played favorites. I did every bad thing that a person could do within a group of friends. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I'm not proud of it. I'm really not. It's hard for me to admit this on camera. It's hard for me to tell people that I was a shitty person. It's hard to just tell people that you're a bad person. I'm not proud of who that person was. I was bad to them. I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to talk to people. I just sort of shut everybody out, and like I made so many hiatuses and deactivated my account, and just like nothing worked. I just had to be open and just open my heart. And there was one point where we all just like Skyped, and I was like in tears, and they were all like willing to put aside their emotions and try to talk things out, but I was just in this emotional rage. I was just like, I wasn't willing to listen to anyone at that point. I just wanted to sob and be alone. I don't even know what I wanted anymore. I don't. I'm confused at myself now that I look at it. What was I trying to accomplish? So yeah, the fighting escalated, and girl number 1 and I had a few falling outs where she would just sort of try to lecture me, but at the same time it was condescending. She would always just be like, since when was everything about you? And her words stung. They stung. I don't know really what she was trying to get at with me. All I know was that at the end, she was like, oh, all the words that I said, this is for you. This isn't for me. I just want you to be a better person. And I was just like, man, fuck that. I don't think you're trying to make me a better person. I think you're just trying to take a dig at me. And I'm trying my best. She confronted me about just shutting people out, and which of course I will you know, I will 100% own up to. But I feel like the way girl number one handled it, I didn't like it. But at the same time, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was healthy for either of us either. But then again, I wasn't willing to listen to anyone. So, you know, can I blame her for trying to get to me that way? No. But at the same time, should you really try to get someone to listen by hurting them? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. In a way, it was both of our faults. It was both of our faults. It was my fault for not listening and her fault for just trying to take a dig at me when there could have been a better way, as I look at it now, objectively rather than subjectively. And it just got worse. I hurt girl number 8. Part of me was intentionally trying to hurt her because at that point, school life was becoming better than my internet life. Because school life was so good before everything happened, I really transferred everything to school. Some messed up part of me wanted to just ruin that. Wanted to like test girl number 8. And I will forever hate what I did. Still trying to understand how I could just do something like that. But then again, we all have evil in us. And I guess that was just evil really taking over for that one moment. I hurt her. I knew she liked me. She had a crush on me. And I knew it too. And I pretended to not know, and then eventually I told her that I liked her back. And this was after I had a falling out with girl number 2, the girl I was dating at that time, and then eventually I broke up with her. So this was after that, and girl number 2 and I had this period of time where we weren't talking to each other. Like, we still followed each other, but we were just kind of like avoiding each other, avoiding conversation and all that. And so girl number 8, I told her that I liked her, but I didn't want to really do anything because I was afraid of hurting her, and eventually that was exactly what I fucking did. So good job, Hannah. Homecoming dance, I played off like I had a crush on this boy. For some reason I decided to do that. I'm just like, what am I doing? And I told her, and she tried to act all happy, and I broke her heart. I broke girl number 8's heart. Why? As much as I loathe what they will eventually do to me in December, because this is around October to November time, I will always hate myself for making my old friends feel bad about themselves and trying to guilt trip them. Girl number 8 started to distance herself from me, understandably. And I went through this phase where I just shut her out. Like, I didn't talk to her. She wanted to talk to me. She really was like, are you okay? Hannah, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine, but really I wasn't. And then back and forth again. It was basically like transferring my internet problems into school. I just had to freaking bring it to school. The one place that I was happy at that time. My other in real life friend that I was close to started hanging out with girl number 8, and then just everything was messed up. I shut myself out from everyone. Eventually, they just didn't care anymore. Girl number 8 and just everybody else hated me. And then on Thanksgiving, I only had girl number 2 and girl number 3 left. I patched things up with girl number 2, I guess a few weeks ago, and we were best friends. I tried to apologize one more time because I shut them out again. A week before, they stopped commenting on my edits. They stopped commenting on anything. They were just kind of like, I don't know. And then one of them indirected me once. And then I just eventually confronted them. I was just like, look, I'm sorry. I'm messed up. I don't know what else to do. Girl number 4, the straightforward one. She was like, I don't know if I can trust you anymore. Because you promised you wouldn't shut us out, and you did again, and I don't know if I can trust you. How can I trust you? And I was just like, I don't know, okay? Worst Disney trip of my life. We went to Disney on Thanksgiving, and I felt like a ghost in Disney World. I didn't feel anything. I was just kind of just walking around with my parents. They planned this meal plan for me so I could have good seats to Fantasmic. This was supposed to be a happy trip. It wasn't. It was the worst trip because I was weighed down from all this guilt and just all of this, just like, I fucking messed it up. Sorry, I had to walk away. I had to walk away for a little bit and just cry out because I'm not all about crying on camera anymore, even though I literally just did a few seconds ago. Worst Disney trip ever, right? And I tried to make appreciation posts for them for Thanksgiving. Then after I posted the appreciation stuff, I just shut down emotionally, logged out of my fan account. I deactivated my Kick. I just did everything that I could to just cut off any social media that had them. Didn't know what else to do, so I put their faces, some appreciation in the caption. Then I was just dead from the internet for a week. I was dead. Practically dead. I was basically just floating through school like a ghost. I couldn't feel anything. I was just existing. Felt like I hit rock bottom, but at least I still had girl number 3 and girl number 2. It was girl number 3's birthday. The worst thing that I could possibly do, as if I didn't fuck up enough, I blocked girl number 3 on her birthday, along with all of the other friends. There's a reason why I blocked them. There was something that pushed me to the edge, and it wasn't the harsh messages that I got from girl number 5 and all of the memes made of me from the rest of the group chat, and it wasn't the harsh looks and that harsh telling off from one of my other in real life friends who I was close to. Them telling me that after years of friendship, I messed up and they didn't want to be my friend anymore. What really, really, really pushed me to the edge was girl number 2. We were best friends. After we posted the birthday edit, I was like, I don't know how to move on. I was talking to her, and she felt far away. She felt really far away. And I was just like, I don't know what else to do. I feel like I'm trying to move on, but I don't know how. I should move on. And she told me, yeah, you should move on, actually. We should both move on. I don't know if I can be friends with you anymore. I don't think we should be friends. That text message she sent me, we can't be friends anymore, that broke me. It broke me, okay? And I know you might be thinking, oh my god, Hannah, you're being over dramatic, but no, you don't understand. Do you know what it's like when a friend gives up on you? Not just any friend, just a person you really believed in, a person that you've been through a lot of fights with, a person who you loved, who broke you in the most addicting and toxic way, who made you feel so alive, but so dead at the same time. That's what it felt like. When she gave up on me, that was it. That was when I blocked everyone. I blocked everyone. I blocked, deleted everything. I deleted every social media I had. I was crying in my room. Like the world ended. But the world didn't end. The world didn't end. There is a happy ending. I promise you, there is a happy ending. That was December. I heard they were making video edits of me. Girl number 8, the group chat, they were all making video edits of me. My entire friend group, my entire social group just was gone. I didn't have anyone. I blocked them for a reason because I wanted to sort of be the bigger person, I guess. I know you might think, oh, blocking is immature. What if they want to reach out to you? Oh no, they didn't want to reach out to me. They made it very clear that they were done with me. They sent me harsh messages. A lot of them. Well, not a lot of them. Just, girl number 5 particularly hurt as well. She was like, leave me and my friends alone. And she accused me of a lot of things. Most of them that I tried to fix. Some of them were true, that I didn't even realize myself how I was weighing her down. And I just sucked all the positivity out of her. And that's understandable. I can respect that. But at that time when I read it, I was angry. I wanted to say something back so badly. And girl number 1 kept on trying to send me messages, just trying to get under my skin. But I just blocked her on everything. Because I knew they were mad. And I didn't want to deal with angry people right now. I've been through hell. I don't deserve this. There was this part of me that wasn't going to give up on myself. If it weren't for this deep part of me that was sort of resilient, I'd probably be dead. Except for this one part of me. It's called hope. I knew there was something bigger out there for me. There's a lot to be learned from old friendships. There's a lot you have to admit you've done really wrong. Girl number 3 actually didn't want to cut off connection. She was the only one. I think that's very important to note. And she really tried to come back to me, but I consulted my clinical doctor, I consulted my parents, I consulted friends, and I consulted an advice blog, hotline. I watched Jodie's video that really, really helped me through that tough time in December. It's called how to cut ties with someone, and I knew as much as I wanted to run back, and there are still times now that I wish I'd gone back, but I know it's not good for me. I have to really fully let go and move on. It's better for her if I'm not in her life. Even now, if I think I've improved. Think I have improved quite a bit. Not perfect still. I still have flaws that I have to work on, but that's okay. Why am I making this video? You might ask. Number one, for me. It's for me. For me to just let out everything and put a meaning to it, like verbally. I've told friends about this, very trusted friends. I've moved on for the most part, like I guess probably 85% moved on. There's still a little bit of me that sometimes wants to go back, but I just focus on looking forward and not at the past. Number two, maybe you can have a lesson out of this. It's a lesson to you guys too, that maybe you'll have to go through, or maybe you're going through it now, or you haven't gone through it, and hopefully you take this advice instead of learning it the hard way. But I think sometimes learning it the hard way is what gets it through your head most effectively, unfortunately. Reason number three, this video was an inspiration from Alyssa Violet's video, The Truth. I look up to her a lot because I was in her shoes. Her video of telling the truth inspired me to tell the truth, without really exposing anyone though, because I didn't really say any names and I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. Reason number four, because many of you kind of think I'm this perfect person. I'm this very extremely kind person. I can be very kind. I can be very wise and talented, but there's a whole nother side of me that you don't really see. And this is just sort of a look into that. This is a very dark part of my life. That's saying a lot because a lot of my life has been very privileged and lucky and bright. I've lived a very blessed life, thanks to God and to my parents. I know I'm a very lucky person, and this might come off as seeming that I'm very ungrateful and too privileged to understand that, you know, there's a lot more that people are going through in the world. But this is my story to tell, and I want to put some good into it. This was a sad story, but I'm determined to give it a happy ending. I ended up, of course, making new friends, and I've made good friends. I've made better friends. Not necessarily like better people as friends per se, but better friendships, more honest, more two-way, not so controlled by wild emotions, but more controlled by faith, trust, and a lot of love. It's not perfect, of course, but I try to make it as good as it can be as possible. I'm really getting there, I believe. I'm really getting there, because I know I'm way better off now than I was a year ago. There's always a happy ending to these types of things. I know maybe some of you are going through or have gone through a lot sadder versions of my story, or just really bad dark stuff in the past or that you're experiencing now. There's a light at the end of the road. There is, I promise you. It just takes a lot of time and patience. No matter what you're going through, there's always a light. You just have to find the strength in you to keep moving forward and to make the right decisions, of course. Alright, that's all for today. Wow, I wonder how long this video is going to be once I finish editing this. I'm betting more than 30 minutes. If you made it to the end and you've watched the whole thing, thank you so much. Love you. Take care of yourselves. Life is beautiful. And yeah, Hannah out. Bye.
It can't be erased. Live with it. You did an awful thing. It doesn't make you an awful person. Just be the person you want to be.
Regrets collect like old friends, here to relive your darkest moments. I can see no way, I can see no way. And all of the ghouls come out to play. Every demon wants his pound of flesh, but I like to keep some things to myself. I like to keep my issues drawn. It's always darkest before the dawn. And I've been a fool and I've been blind. I can never leave the past behind. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, oh, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Ooh, oh, and it's hard to dance with the devil on your back, so shake